This video will be an overview of our purpose-built connector for Dynamics 365 Finance and Operations. The idea of the connector is to help businesses connect with external time tracking, expense management, and e-billing web services. For our proof of concept, we chose external systems such as Harvest and Ability. However, it can also be extended to any other similar web systems. It can also be used for any related bespoke integrations. We are building this solution on Microsoft Azure platform, and the idea is that it will be a ready-to-use integration service so anyone can use it on a subscription model by simply connecting to the APIs and installing a few custom-built extensions within D365. Let's look into the supported scenarios of implementation. Connector has been built on a number of interconnected services, and so it allows a number of ways it can be implemented, but today we're going to look into the two main scenarios. First one is a quick and simple, and second one is the one which allows you to use the full power of D365 F&O finance and project management features. In the first scenario, business can fully delegate time tracking and customer billing to external services and periodically generate and integrate only customer bills in the form of pre-text invoices in D365 F&O. This will not require much of the configuration and implementation effort in D365 F&O. However, it will allow business to keep their financial data in one place, apply their appropriate financial dimensions, and ledger posting rules in Dynamics. Second scenario, simply let the external system record and manage time and expense externally. However, project management and billing is fully done in Dynamics 365 since it would typically have much more rich functionality in that area. Our connector architecture is based on a number of services decoupled to accommodate different systems. Basically, on the left-hand side, you can see connect services, which are designed to get the mapping and transformation logic for any specific time tracking system. And then in the middle, you can see a number of services which are specific to D365 integration tasks. Each of these services takes an already transformed message from the connect service and then runs the required logic in order to create appropriate documents in D365 F&O, as well as take necessary steps in case of errors or any other events. Our integration services are fully cloud-based, which allow high scalability and availability. These services are packaged as REST APIs through API Management Gateway in Azure. So in addition to the cloud-based services, Connector comes with D365 F&O extensions. Extensions are kept to the minimum and mainly provide the following main features. First is to get the connection established by requesting tokens and storing the secrets. Second is to set and store configuration of appropriate value mappings. Third is to schedule periodic updates and processing of integrated documents. And last but not the least, to record appropriate log journal for all integrated messages. Extensions are customizable and client can build their own extensions. We support asynchronous and synchronous integration scenarios. In case the number of messages is quite significant, it makes sense to switch to asynchronous scenario, and that is done by simply changing an appropriate configuration. Let's look into the key functionality and features of the connector. Both personal token or app registration options available. Connector supports single source of truth for the master data, in this case clients and projects. You can create and maintain your master data in D365 F&O and then set automated periodic extracts into the third-party system. You can do this with a full push or incremental changes only, and it also allows to get automatically created your mappings set up for the master data. There are no any manual uploads, no multiple staging areas, fully automated data flow between the systems either on schedule or on request. Project journals in D365 F&O automatically created and posted by the services, allowing you to use the full features of D365 F&O project module and invoicing capabilities. Quick reflection of invoices into the D365 F&O GL and ER ledgers is also possible with pre-text invoices connected with external billing system. Now let's see a quick demo. Let's begin our demonstration by looking into the features and the functionality of the connector that we just discussed. So in order to start working with the connector, first we need to get through the app registration and get the security keys and tokens. App registration is located here in the System Administration Time Tracking Connect Provider. In my previous video, I already demonstrated how it's done, so this time I will do it rather quickly. Delete this old registration and start over. So link an account, dialog opens. I'm not going to go through details as we did this already with the last video. I'll just check through this. I'll quickly switch to the harvest profile, go to settings, go to authorize client. This is my client. Copy the secret, paste the secret here, click OK, approve yes, and getting back, status is now connected. So at this point we've got our tokens and we are ready to proceed. Next we need to set up value mappings and basic default parameters for our connector. For this we go to Project Management, Setup, Project Management and Accounting Parameters. Here at the bottom we have a special section called Time Tracking Connect. Click on that. Here we have a bunch of parameters that can be set up for our connector before we start using it. So these are default values. So first, as you can see, expense and our journal names can be selected here, which are going to be used for posting those hours and expenses in D365 F&O. Next, we have a section with the default value mapping setup. The way it works, you can set up default mapping parameters in here, and then every integration message will simply get it from here. This can simplify the whole integration setup by simply going through here, setting up the default values, like in this case, for example, financial dimensions. We can set up business unit and department, which is going to be used with all our integration messages coming through this interface for this particular legal entity. And that's it. We don't need to take care about each value mapping setup separately. Another small but cool feature worth mentioning here is this two parameters here. You can specify if you want to keep or remove failed journals which are coming through integration. For example, let's say something wrong with configuration and all the journals coming through integration started to fail, and you don't want to have too many of those sitting within your system. For this reason, you can choose not to keep the failed journals, and system will automatically remove them as part of the overall journey for each message. Next, let's look with more details into the value mapping setup. Let's close this and go to the same Project Management and Accounting setup, Time Tracking Connect, Mapping Setup. In this place, in this form, we have a couple of sections. So first and the most important one is the project mapping. This is where you can create the mapping for each project, creating in D365 F&O and the related project code in external time tracking system. However, as we mentioned before, this can be automated by simply extracting projects from D365 F&O into the external system, and as part of this extract, this mapping value will be created as well. Next one is the project category mapping, located here, so you can pick each category for the projects and set up appropriate value from the external system in here. Another important one is a project line property mapping. So for all your billables and non-billables, you can pick the appropriate parameter or external line property name in here. And the project resource mapping, this is where you select the employee name and specify the external employee ID or name depending on the system in here. Now, as we completed the basic setup, we can go and schedule our integration jobs. Integration jobs are located in here for project module. They sit in the periodic section, time track and connect process, and we have 3 jobs available. Project Connect job is designed to replicate our project master data into the external system. And 2 other jobs are designed to bring over the journals with time tracking and expense accordingly. These jobs are quite simple underneath, and if we take a look into this time tracking connect job, for example, it takes just a few parameters and can be scheduled on the background to be run as a batch. And what it does, it simply calls our cloud service through the exposed APIs. After that, cloud service takes control over the transformation logic and the result is recorded into the log. Inquiries reports, time tracking, connect log. Here we have 3 menu items. Each menu item represents the history of imported or exported messages. So if we look into the first one, it will be the project export history log. Now, before we start running in examples, let's also explore another section. Another important part of the connector is located in the sales ledger. Sales ledger allows you to connect e-billing systems with free text invoices. So in here, the structure is pretty much similar. Under the setup sales ledger parameters, we have all our main default settings. They are as well located at the bottom with a special tab called Invoice Connect. On the Invoice Connect, we have similar feature, keep failed free text invoices if you wish to, and all the default mapping set up. So you can pick the default customer if you want to address all your invoices to the same customer, the main ledger account, terms of payments, ITVT groups, and of course the default financial dimensions. If this is not as simple as that, then there is a mapping table available. So on the setup, you can go to Invoice Connect, mapping setup, and mapping setup allows you to set up all the mappings. So for each customer account, there is a corresponding external customer account code. Same can be done for VT groups, item VT groups, terms of payments, and main account mappings. Let's close this. So periodic tasks would contain the similar to jobs in here. Invoice Connect process, Invoice Connect job, and Customer Connect job, and 2 inquiry logs for invoice import and customer export inquiry job. So customer export, you can see I ran a couple of examples already. So each customer, when it's created in the external time tracking system, got the logs in here with appropriate external customer code, modified date time, and the corresponding customer code in D365 F&O. And as we mentioned for the project master data, this one also creates the mapping in our setup mapping table. So all those customer accounts got the mapping record available for it as well. So with the Invoice Connect messages, it automatically picks up appropriate messages when it brings our invoices from the external system. Invoice import job log would look something like this, with header information, status for each message, and appropriate lines. Similar logs available for other types of the journals like hours and expenses, but we're going to look into this in our next presentation. In the next video, I will do more demonstration and more explanation about different features of this connector. Thanks for watching. See you next time.